Hello everyone, KOW with Artisan of Glimmith. I'm so excited, not to play this game so much, but to be almost done with it. Actually, I am kind of excited for this area. This area is the end of the game. Well, for those who have not followed along with everything, and honestly, why should you? I've played through the entirety of the main game, done every single puzzle back here, and then there's two endgame areas. I just finished Spiral Island, which was a massive disappointment as far as I'm concerned. But that's just my opinion. And I've left this endgame area for, well, the end. And all of the puzzles promise to be difficult. So 6s and 7s. There's a couple 5s in here I might want to pull out. Let's see. We'll find them. There were some 5s. I saw some 5s. Yeah, there's a 5 right there. And, oh fuck, it's a loopy puzzle. Come on. I'm so sick of this fucking... Yeah, so I think this area is supposed to be better because the harder puzzles tend to be the best ones in this game. They tend to involve the most logic, the least guessing, although there are some that have been very much trial and error puzzles. And even if they employ the terrible rules, they tend to employ them in the best way. I don't know. It's just I have a better track record with these. I've also done this type of puzzle a million times. This is the same type of puzzle we did over here, so why the fuck do I have to see it again over here? So we got the loopy rule. We've got the rose windows. We need 2 regions that need to cover everything. And then we've got all these watchtowers. Now, it's not the same as the previous types where there was like all a bunch of 2s. But it's the same deal. I'm just tired of it. I don't know what the significance of these 2 straightaways is. But I guess it's important because these 2 straightaways tell me that these 2 have to go together, right? Because straightaway means you can't do that. I guess the significance is it's forcing me to do this, but I already know I'm going to go around this wall. I already know this is going to happen. So now I know there's walls here. That's got to be there. So then we're going to do this. That has to go. That's got to go. So now that has to be red. Because if it's not, we have one region in here, which means all of these have got to be red. All of these have got to be... What's going on here? All of these have got to be red. And all these have got to be red. Alright, well, it's a good start. Now the question is... Do I continue with the redness or do I make that blue? That is the question. At least one of these... I can't make this a blue square. Because then this will be a blue square. And oh, no, this is fine. Can I make this one? Yeah, any of those. Well, if I made this a blue, all of these would be blue, and then this would have to go because we already have the wall here. So we need this, we need all of these to be red, and we need all of these to be red, right? Oh no. We would need to put a wall there, which would do this. This is fine. Okay. Is like the trick is everything is done in big 3x3 blocks. I think that's the trick is I have to do 3x3 blocks. I guess if I see this with the single wall, right? One of these two's got to be blue. They can't both be red. So if it's this one here, then we have to move blue here and red there. Whereas if it's the other way around, if I decide that red is here, then blue has to be... Oops. Yeah, blue has to be all of these. I think that's the gist. But I don't see how to logic my way to the answer rather than just guess which one it is. Because it kind of seems like this is where it is. Maybe this side will have a similar thing. If I put the wall here, that puts blue there, right? It means it has to be all of these, which means that the blue has to also go here, and red has to go there, which gives us all of these. It would force us to make red here, which would now force something there. No, it's still a guess of which one it is. This would have to be blue, which is going to force blue up. which is going to make a checkerboard. There you go. We can't have a checkerboard with this type of puzzle. So, I gotta go all the way back for a second. Oops, that way. No, that's red, though. I know that this is red. That's all gotta be there. Which means I can't bring red over here, because that forces blue into this. No, that's fine. It doesn't force a checkerboard, does it? This is... I would have to continue, because this... No, this has to be blue. And if this is blue, then this has to be as well. No, this is fine. This is fine, because I can still put a wall in there. It's not... doesn't break anything. But it breaks this because it's blocked in. So... Alright. So that means this has to be blue. And if this is blue, all of this is blue. Which means that this has got to be red, because if it's blue, we're going to be screwed. So we got to make that red. We already have the wall there, so we've got to do this now and that. Great. And this has to come out because we can't trap anything inside. One of these two is going to be blue, not sure which one. This kind of feels like I got to make a guess and go with it and then go back if the guess is wrong, which is really what it feels like the puzzle's got to be. So I could say if the wall goes there, we got to bring this over. And then this would have to be red all through here, which would continue these over and continue red there. And this is where we get the problem, I think, because no matter where we go, we break the puzzle. So I think we have to put the wall there, which gives us that, gives us red here. So we've got to fill all those in. We've also got to fill these in, which means we've got to have walls there and then put those as blue. Like this. And now, yeah, that's what we need to have. So, blue's got to be one of these two. If I say blue is this one here, then red's got to be all of these and all these, and it works out just fine. And red just finishes the puzzle. Is this it? That's not very interesting. Disappointing start to this area. Man, it's just... You really can't keep up the momentum in 1200 puzzles. It's just not possible. 300 or 400 puzzles in, I've kind of seen everything. Well, let's make sure there aren't any other 5s. It's not that big a deal if I go slightly out of order, but whatever. Shape bank. Shape bank might give me something. So I know, gotta have this. We're gonna have 1s, 2s, and 3. Hold on. This one can go that way. Mingle shape. So we can start it right away with a 3 here because there's only 3 shapes possible. It's touching the other 2. Mingle shape must be that shape. Means this is a 2, this is a 1, this is a 2, and this is a 1. This must be a 1, this must be a 2. And from here is where we have to think about it. If I bring this up, we have a 1 there, and a 3, and a 2 here. And that just solves the puzzle. So that was nowhere close to a 5. What the fuck? Okay. Every time I open this thinking I'm going to finally give the game a chance, I've harped on it for a bunch of bad stuff, but that doesn't mean there can't be good stuff in the future. I get disappointed. I should stop learning to love, because it's only going to result in heartbreak. Every time I think I've been too mean to these nice devs who made this game just for me to enjoy, with all their heart and soul, they disappoint me again. Well, those are the 5s. Maybe the 5s are disappointing. Maybe the 6s are good. So let's start running around. I'm going to see, actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to kind of hop through, hop through the 6s. And if I see one with shitty rules, I'm going to do it first, just to get out of my system. That one's good rules. That's precision's fine. Shapebank's a good rule. Shapebank's a good rule. Those are good rules. Oh, are we going to get good rules all day? Oh, it looks like we're going to get good rules. Nope, Bricky. Let's get rid of this one. Bricky sucks fucking shit. So all of that's going to go here. Bricky is not the worst rule ever. I've just done 100 plus Bricky puzzles, and there were maybe 5 good ones. It's just not that interesting of a rule. So, everything's 5. We got pentominoes. I can duplicate pentominoes, but just because I feel proud of myself for learning about pentominoes in my preschool class. So, these are the shapes we can do for our pentominoes. We got 12 possible shapes. Is here, S, T, V, W, X, and Y. If you don't know what those shapes are, that's okay, because it's not something that is intuitive to a first-time player. The game doesn't really teach this. You just know it. I actually checked now that I've looked at the level builder, whatever. I talked about that recently. This unnecessary level builder. The game is so freaking long that I just have no desire to do anymore. There's no level I could make that doesn't touch what the game's already done 5 or 10 times too many. But the level builder defines the pentominoes and the tetrominoes with letters. So it's like the developers knew about this. They assumed that everyone who plays the game also knows about it because the game doesn't actually teach this, which is fine. It's not like the game's job is to do that. But if the designers were thinking about this and they wanted me to think about this, why didn't they teach it? Why did they assume I knew it? Because I didn't know this before I started the game. Anyway, that's just one more thing I can bitch about. So this piece here, I think is going to be a Y shape, because I don't think any other shape works. A C shape could work if it goes there, but it's got to bend here and there, right? Because if it doesn't bend there, we're out. We're not going to work. We've got to make it, all of them are pentominoes. So that's got to be that, which means this piece has to come down and out this way. This fella has to come down, but that's as far as I know. Let's see. This guy, this piece right here. Oh, who's this going to touch? This is either going to be an L shape here, or it's going to be something there. Let's suppose we put a wall there. Let's just pretend that's a wall. That means this shape here, could be that. L-shaped I don't think works, because now you need another shape here and a different shape here that isn't the red, because it'd be the opposite sides of the wall. So you'd end up with that. So it's not an L shape. So if this is here, it's a V shape. That's what that one is. Which would give me an S shape there. Which is fine. It's totally fine. If I didn't put a wall, if I put those both together, now I can't go through that way. I have to go through this way. And it's either a W shape here or an N shape there. Either of those seem to work just fine. So that didn't help. That didn't help me at all. How about this? This corner piece here either is going to take that, which would give me a Y shape there, or it's going to take this one. It's not going to be an N shape, because why on earth would it be an N shape? Actually, could this be an N shape as well? Yeah, this could be an N. That works. But if I make the N shape here, I think that's the right N shape, then it breaks. So it's, if it was here, it'd be L. And this would break, because now this shape has to go here, and we can't fill this in, because we can't bring that up. We can't bring this over, and this can't take both of those spots. So this piece cannot reach here by any means. So we must have the V shape here. So that does give me a Y shape. Which, now this piece here can't touch this guy, because now where does this one go? So we've got to touch here. That gives me an N shape in there. So now here, we could still do something like this. Or we could be in here. Either way is fine. But I'm pretty sure I can't do this, because if I bring this down, I have to bring it in. Which would mean now this piece is, there's no way. Yeah, so we got to put a wall there. This is an interesting one. Probably should have looked at this earlier. This piece right here has got to come out but it can't go through here. So it's got to go this way, and then it can't go through there. Now, which piece is it going to touch? This is the only one that works. That's got to be a C piece. So whatever this is going to come out. Not sure what it is. Here, V shape. Not that way though. That shape works too. Let's see. I haven't even thought about the bricky rule. It hasn't even come up yet. So either I've made a mistake somewhere because I should have thought about brickiness, or that'll only come into play later. Is there any spot that looks bricky right now? I can't put something there, so those have to go together. Okay, maybe that's where it is. Which means this is the other color. Which means this one has to go here. There. We can go here. I think this has to go here. So the question is it that or is it that? What's going to lead to more? This is bricky. So we can't do that. There's the brickiness problem. So I can make an L shape, I think. I can make a Y shape. No, I can't. Can't have a wall here. These two gotta go together. Which means I either have a V shape there, or I have an L shape here. I think this purple has got to move to the left, because if it doesn't, if I have a new shape here, it isn't this one. So, what does it touch? It can't go there, because that's now blocked. It can't go there, because that's blocked. Yes, that's got to be purple. What does this do? This would force these three to go together. Yeah, if I made this a V shape, we have to block this. We can't have a wall there or there, so these have to all be the same piece. It can't be that because it overloads. Can't be this one overloads. It's a new piece, meaning that's got to be that. We don't fill that in. So that can't be a wall. That's got to come up, which means that down here is a piece. These two got to go together, but they don't have to be this one as far as I know. Change that. So somebody's gonna go in there. I'm not sure which one yet. But that means it's got to move that way. Yeah, that's a V shape, so that does go there. That now has to extend. Those are the same piece. Do they go this way or the other way? Oh, this has to be there, which means that. So we can't bring that up. So that's got to be there. That's there. And now, this guy has got to escape through here, at the very least, because it can't escape through that. And then here we're going to come out. So that and there. I think we're going to be done with this pretty soon. Yeah. Okay, it's a fine puzzle. That feels like a puzzle which was in... Okay, this happens sometimes with bricky puzzles. Bricky and loopy. But bricky in particular, I've had a few that feel like this. I don't really care about the brickiness. I care about a couple other things. And maybe 2 or 3 times I look over here to see about the bricky rule. Because it seems like they designed a puzzle that doesn't actually work. And so they went, oh shit, it doesn't work with these rules. I need to add something in here so that something, you know, it makes one solution. So rather than brickiness being like an essential part of the puzzle, it's tacked on to force a single solution where the puzzle had accidentally been designed to have 2. You know what I mean? I'm sure that's not actually what happened, but it sure feels like that's what happened. All right. We got any others? Any other 6s that are using terrible rules? I don't see them yet. Bricky. All right, let's get rid of this shit. 6s and 7s, size separate. Oh, this looks like it's going to be a bitch to solve. Oh my god. Because if you look at this, tell me, where do you start with this one? Where do you start? I'm not a fan of puzzles where the first move is very, very difficult and the rest of it is somewhat simple. I'm not a fan of that. If the first move is difficult, it's not the end of the world. It's just, it tends to end up being a puzzle where it feels like you have to guess your way in. Whereas if the first move is kind of given and then it's hard from that point on, then it feels like a puzzle. It feels like I actually am solving something rather than guessing something. And here it looks like I'm going to have to make a guess. I do not see what is the thing I need to be looking for, because there's no single wall I can place that is going to force a brickiness, so I don't see a rule there. Size separation is going to be really tricky because of this range thing, so maybe there's a way these two rules interact that I don't know, which fine, I guess, because it's a hard puzzle. It's supposed to do that. So how would I do this? Whatever that is, if I were to place a wall here, it would force these three to go together. But that doesn't tell me anything, because we don't know if this is a 7 and that's a 6 or vice versa. We just know that this is required to do if we put a wall there. If we put a wall here, we have a similar-ish thing where those two have to go together and then that has to come out. But that doesn't give me any more. The same thing happens over here. If I put a wall there, these three have to go together because of the brickiness thing. This would have to come out. And that's as far as we would know. If I put the wall there, this would have to come out, and then this would have to, just to avoid bricky, and also it has to come out. But I don't have to put, I can put a wall there. These two don't have to go together. I can put a wall here, and then do this. Then these two would go together. And then I don't really have anything else after that. So it's not really that helpful. I just know I can't do something like that. That will come into play later, but what do I do now to start? I can do a similar thing with these where I bring that out. Oops, and then I would have those two pieces go together. There's something about this I'm not getting. Maybe this area intersects in an interesting way. But if I put a wall there, I force these to go together like so. That is something. But I still have a lot of options after this point. Do you see what I'm talking about here? Where it feels like I look at this and I go, there are 10,000 options to start this puzzle. And there's nothing in particular that seems to be pointing me towards one of the options. Maybe here it is. Maybe this is the one. I think this might be it. No. See, all I know is I can't do this. So the blue that I just placed either goes right or down, or both. But like, this is great, but it's not necessarily proven. I can do that, right? Or I can do this. No, that doesn't help me. If I do this here, for instance, I could also make those moves, but I don't know. All I get from this is I can't end a region in this exact spot. Right? Like, it's not a dead end of something. It's got to bend through, like, this is a possible way of doing it, or this is a possible way, or it's got to be a straight shot, or it's got to be multiple. It just can't be like that. Oops, because this will be a bricky right there. So yeah, it looks like I got 10,000 things I can make. There's no clear indication of which one is the correct option. There's nothing I'm looking at going, that's the place to start looking. I think these two have to go together. No? No, they don't. Because this is possible. See what I mean? Like, I can do this. I just can't have... I can't have a piece end. I can't have a dead end here. It's either got to go through or bend. Which, again, is not super helpful. It's possible that there is some... Maybe you're looking at this and going, there is a clear logical thing, Key of W, if you weren't such a moron. You could look at this and you could blah, blah, blah. It just doesn't matter, because It's not something I've done yet in the game, so I can't rely on the past experience of it. I don't see it, so it very much is a puzzle of 10,000 opening moves. Take your pick until you get one that works. So I look at this and I already go, I'm not going to enjoy the solve. I'm just not going to enjoy the act of solving this. This can't be a dead end. But think about it, like, I know that because of Bricky, I can't have a dead end here, right? I can't do that. So I either have to move here, or there, or both. But that is a lot of options. It doesn't tell me anything. It doesn't restrict. I could put a wall here. I could also put a wall here. I could also put no wall. So you see that that's 3 options, none of which are obviously right or wrong, which means I would have to try all 3 options until I get to a satisfying solution. That's what this puzzle is. It's that type. I guess it counts as a puzzle. It's not a puzzle. I would just question the type of person who makes this puzzle and what they consider to be good game design. Because again, I'm playing a game. I'm not just playing a puzzle. It is also a video game. So this might be a good puzzle, but it sure as hell ain't a good game to play. So, yeah, I basically have to pick one of these and decide which direction I'm going. This can't be a dead end, so it's got to bend. It's got to go. But yeah, with all of these spots that look like important spots, I still have 3 or 4 options, and I have to just pick between them until I figure out which one is correct. Like this spot right here has to go here, there, or both. That's 3 options. Which one's correct? I don't know. This one has to do the same. I don't know. This one, that right away fixes it. This also fixes it. I just can't have a dead end here. Like, it's not really helpful. Doing this, 97, the trouble is, like, I feel like there's multiple ways to get this to add up mathematically. Like, 97, obviously they're not all 6s, but, like, if I place a 7, I'd have 90 left. I could place it all with 6s from there, but obviously the size separation is going to force me to use more 7s. So it's like, okay, well, there's that in place, but there's still too many options to get an answer for what I'm placing. So this is just too open-ended as a puzzle. I feel like what's going to happen is I'm going to have to guess all the way through. There will not be a single point in which I'm like, all right, I now have the logical train to follow, and I'll go for it. I'm just going to have to guess, and I just really don't like that. I can see it. I'm making that prediction. If I'm wrong, I don't know. We'll see. I don't think I'll be wrong. I have yet to make a bad prediction on this game. I have yet to make a prediction that has turned out to be untrue. So I think that's what this is going to be. So what if there's a wall here? Will I get somewhere? Well, if I put a wall there, I had to put something here has got to come out. But I don't know anything more about this because a wall here doesn't cause a problem. A wall here doesn't cause a problem. And neither wall causes a problem. I would need to have a thing here as well. This one would need to move up, but I don't have a problem with putting a wall on both, on neither, on one, here. None of them have a problem. So if I start with this guess, not only have I guessed to start the puzzle, and as I've explained a million times, if I do 100 moves in a puzzle, 99 of them are logical and one of them is a guess, then the puzzle was solved by guessing. That's how this works. That is just how puzzles work. So I've made a guess, and now I'm faced with a second guess. This guess isn't leading to a solution. It's not like I'm guessing to see is this correct or not. I'm guessing. Now I would need to make another guess, a second guess. What if I did this, right? And now what does that lead me to? So this leads here. Now I have a second guess, and from here I would need a third guess, right? That's all guessing. That's what that is. That's not logic. Maybe maybe assuming there's not a wall there that this has to bend. Assuming there's not a wall, though, is a bad move. Assuming there is a wall forces 2 regions, because I can at least force 6s and 7s next to each other. I don't know which color is which, but I can force these to be 2 different regions, and I can't put walls here or there, so I'd force this. But again, I now have to make a second guess to get this puzzle to go. Because this one is a guess. This wall here isn't known. It could be a straight through. If I put a wall here as well, I would have to put something like this, but these could be the same thing. I don't know. They just have to be different sizes. I think I've waffled on this for about 10 minutes now, and I feel like I just need to make a move and go for it, but it's just not worth it. Maybe there's something here that is logical. I just don't think I've ever seen something like this with this rule, and it just doesn't seem interesting. Like, congratulations on making a puzzle that's hard, but like, you need to make them interesting. You need to make them good. Again, this is a game. It isn't just puzzles. If you just want to make puzzles, print out a puzzle and send it to your friends. You made a whole game filled with 1,200 puzzles, with progression, with an art direction, with not much of a story, with an aesthetic, with a whole bunch of other rules in place. You made this whole experience. You need to understand that that's going to come with some consequences if you do it wrong. So I guess assuming a wall here gets me a lot, because it gets me these three, and it gets me these three, which is the largest amount I can get with a single guess. There might be something to do with the fact I have to size separate with 6s and 7s, but again, I feel like I have to make a lot of guesses to get anywhere with that. Like if I put a wall here, now we know whatever these two are the same size, right? We know that much. We would know this. But again, I've made 2 guesses to get here, and I haven't learned anything from those 2 guesses. I would have this. I obviously, well, one of these two is going to happen, but I still don't know where any of this goes. Like if I put a wall here, now that's 3 guesses. You see what I mean? Like this is entirely a guess-based puzzle. And before anyone tries to pull that whole, you didn't actually have to guess. There was a logical way to do it if you just looked. Sorry, I didn't see it, so it's a guess puzzle. That's it. My experience trumps reality. That is always how games work. If you make a game and you show it to someone and they don't play it the way you intended, they're right, you're wrong. Fix your game or accept that that is an acceptable way to play the game. Either the devs need to fix this puzzle or they need to accept that guessing is an acceptable way to solve their game. That's it. Those are your only 2 options. So, I've made 3 guesses and I still don't have anything from this. I don't want to be doing that shit. And also, I'm being taunted by this. 6 is a hard puzzle, but I don't expect them to be as hard as 7s. They need to be easier than 7s. So, that's also bad game design. And before anyone starts doing that, well, it's subjective, everyone's got different feelings, then don't give me an objective number. If I'm going to have a subjective reaction to your puzzle, do not give me an objective number telling me what my subjective reaction should be. Good game designers do not include these. Thank you. Okay. Can I... Like, this here gets rid of brickiness all over the place, but it doesn't tell me anything. If I put a wall here, what's this do? It makes this region have to go this way, which is great. This region has to go out. But then what does it do from there? I have to make another guess from here. I could go this way, but if I put another wall here, this would happen. What the hell? It's all... I have to keep guessing to get anywhere with this puzzle. There's got to be something with these squares that we can deduce. I just don't see it. I just don't see what the deduction is. Like, I can say, like, what if I did this? What if I did this? I need to find a what if that leads to a break, that leads to an obvious break. And if I make this guess and I get somewhere and then, like, 2 steps before the end of the puzzle, I find the break, that is not good enough. That's just guessing the whole puzzle so you get it wrong. I need something here that I can use, and I don't have anything. This is similar to what I had before. It forces these, but it's not a lot of forced moves. It's like I need to guess 2 walls and go from there. Like, if I did something like this, what would that mean? Nothing. This gotta be important for something. I can't have a dead end. This has to go, and that's gotta go, but I could still put a wall here. I could put a wall here, move these in, and then this piece here is going to move either that way or that way, fixing the brickiness here, so I don't know which direction that goes, and that's all I get from putting a wall there. Like, I know that we can't end this blue piece here, but it can go here, there, or both. We don't have an answer to that. If I put a wall like this, I think we're going to have the same problem. These two have to go together to avoid brickiness. This is a different region, but we don't know which way it goes. This right here would force those two together. This is a different region, and it could be blocked here, or it could be blocked there, or it could be blocked in neither of them. I know that these single regions here are going to be important to solving the puzzle. It's just that they're not really helping me start the puzzle. If I put a wall here, that's required and that's required. That feels like something, like, oh, okay. If I put a wall there, these are required. But, like, the way I've colored these here, I'm going to change the color real quick. I've got 4 different colors here, but I could have 4 regions or 2 regions. I don't know. We could do this. We could also, I think I went over that before, but we could also just not have them. We could have these be separate regions, like that. And it still works. I mean, the size separation would be tricky with this. If this was 6, we'd have 6, 7, 6, 7. But how would we know which is which with this? And also, it's based entirely on a guess. I placed these walls as a guess. That I don't know. I don't know that this is right. If I were to do something like this, make these fit together, this piece would be rather constrained because it would just have to be a different size to whatever this is. In fact, I think this would have to be all one piece, because if I were to then put a wall here, for instance, then what would go here? We have whatever size this is, we have the opposite size. This would have to be the same, which actually works out fine. Then we'd have to do that, right? Oopsie daisy. We'd have this, we'd have that. So we'd have to go... Again, I've made 3 guesses. This wall, that wall, and that wall. Those are the guesses I've made. This is a 7, so now this has to be 6. And this guess works out. But, like, I have no way of knowing this is right. I can get through the whole puzzle and not be able to solve it because of this. I can't believe there's a puzzle like this in this game. Both of these have to be 6s, which means we can't have Bricky. So one of them's got to move in, which means they both have to be the same unit. This is great, right? This has to go up. Then this can't go here, because then we would have brickiness, because otherwise we have 2 6s touching each other, so it would have to go around like this. See what I'm getting at and how this is going to get really confusing? Because, like, I'm moving forward with the puzzle based entirely on, well, I reckon that if I put walls here, I'll get somewhere. And if I put a wall here, I'll get somewhere. But this isn't how you're supposed to solve it. That's got to go there. This could go here just fine. I'm not in danger of brickiness anywhere. So I have to make another guess. So, well, these have to be blue. Those all have to be blue. So that's going to come out. It's going to be there. These have to be connected. So there's not a guess there, actually. One of these moves up. Neither of them have brickiness problems. Yeah, like... What if this is right? What if this is wrong? How do we know? How do we know anything? Well, it's not going to be this, because now all of these have to be blue, so I have to somehow stop it. This probably can't happen just because I would need that. Actually, whatever I think here, if I do this, whatever I do here, we obviously can't do this because of Bricky and because these two would have to be the same size, otherwise we have a third size there. So either we connect all of these, or we have 2. Now if I connect them all together, then this, we got 5. I can't obviously this is the wrong side, but this would be 7. If I were to say, do something like this, those need to be here. We can't have bricky, so we need to connect these. But then this would need to be blue, and that would need to be blue as well. So I feel like I have to do 25 steps ahead to get anywhere in this puzzle, which is just, it is indistinguishable from guessing. It's indistinguishable from guessing. Because you see, like, I'm making logical steps here. This is a logical process that was built on a guess. This guess right here and that guess right here. And we're working out now that if I make this type of shape, I have to somehow surround it with 7s. But in doing this particular shape, I can't make this shape can't be a different one from these two, because then it would be bricky. So something like this now, these both have to be 7, so they're the same unit. Same problem here, these both have to be, we overload. So I think there's no way to make this shape work here. So if we had walls in these spots, these would be 2 different regions, and we would have something like this. But again, this is now a second layer of guessing. On top of these 2 guesses, we now have to guess which of these 2 moves up, and which is the 6 and which is the 7. That's just more guessing. So again, there might be something that some brilliant 4,000 IQ player will have. But you can't assume that players have that IQ when they start your game. So if you don't teach that concept, how are we supposed to learn it? The only way to know is by guessing, right? That's how most puzzles operate. If you want to teach your player something, sometimes you require them to guess their way into a solution, and then now they know some sort of principle they can use in later puzzles. But we're not at a point in the game where we should be doing that, because we're at the end of the game. So if you're trying to teach me a way of that bricky size separation, this all works together, that's very clever, I can't use it in another puzzle, right? Like, we're not going to get very many more puzzles. So this is not the point I should be learning a new thing. This is the point I should be applying what I've learned. And I haven't learned this yet. Fine, all fair in puzzles, but it does mean that in any expectation that I apply the principle to solving this puzzle is a diluted expectation. Because there's no way for the game designer to know that I have that principle in my mind, right? If you're designing a game and you expect people to solve in a certain way, you need to ensure that the player has all the resources they need to do so. Right? So if there's, like this, I know can't work anymore. This guess. Because I tried a bunch of things that didn't work out. But it doesn't mean that these 2 walls aren't correct and that we don't have something like this. But now I would need to make more guesses to work out how this will work or won't work. So I'm just in a position with this puzzle where I go like, I hate everything about it, not because it is designed necessarily poorly. Like, it's not a puzzle that's designed like it's got a bad element to it. Like some of the puzzles here that feature elements that are not required at all, like just completely unnecessary, or are like too clever by half, or are just retreads of things we've seen, or the logic required is unintuitive. It's just not good from a game design perspective. This is the kind of thing that would be thrown out if this game had any editors. They would look at this and go, it's really clever, it doesn't fit any of the other puzzles you've designed, and your players are going to have the worst time solving this, so just get rid of it. Just don't put this in here. Of course, I would be much faster solving it if I wasn't whining like a little bitch about it the whole time. But as I've looked, I have no leads. And I'm not talking I have no leads like, oh, I got to find something. There just isn't anything here. It's just a guessing puzzle. That is the only thing it is. If there's one guess and 900,000,900 whatever thousand logical moves, the entire puzzle is a guess. That's just how it works. So you need to not give me avenues for guessing. You need to give me avenues for logic. What if I did this? Okay. That brings me there. Doesn't bring me much else. I need something to go. I need something that gives me reason to live. Every time I start this game up thinking, they're going to do something good. Finally, they're going to make me feel like an asshole for yelling about this game. They're going to make me realize I've just overreacted. No, I've underreacted, if anything, to how terrible this game is. I've underreacted to it. Stuff like that. Like, if this was the whole game, if every puzzle was like this, you just get used to it. That's just what every puzzle's like. But they aren't like this. There's good puzzles here. They made good puzzles. This one right here we did last time. It has a logical thing you follow. It was fine. They know how. But then they've got this bullshit, which is like, this is the type of bullshit that if there was a skip button, this isn't it. Where is it? Here. This is the type of thing that will never be as fun to solve as anyone thinks it was. It's just not good. It just isn't. This is the kind of thing that needs to be cut, especially when your game is 2 or 3 times as long as it needs to be. So here's what I'm going to do. I've been bitching about this forever. I see from looking at this puzzle that solving it will not be fun. It will not be interesting. I will not learn anything interesting or original about it. I will not enjoy it. I do not think the developers were correct to create this puzzle. There's nothing about it redeemable. This is how we're going to do it. I'm going to put walls in until they tell me that's not correct. All right, this one was correct. I don't know what things I have. This is going to be correct, obviously, because we can't not do that. I'm also going to put a wall here. There we go. Now we know that these two go together. Great. I'm going to put a wall here, and that one does have it. Great. We're going to get started with that. And if you think, KFW, you're not solving the puzzle right, you're sabotaging your own fun, shut the fuck up. Go away forever. Don't play video games. You clearly don't understand anything. This is not fun anyway. I need somewhere to start. I need a puzzle to solve. Like, this is the equivalent of, dropping me in the middle of Vancouver and saying, I hid a P, a single P, which I marked with a Sharpie pen somewhere in the city. Like, sure, that is, from an objective standpoint, a challenge. But goddamn it, if you think anyone's going to do that, you are deluded. You are deluded. No, this is bad. This is bad. Objectively, awful game. All right, so these two got to go together. We don't know what size they are. We don't know anything else about it, but we know that these have to go here. I'm going to keep putting walls in these things until I get somewhere. And I don't give a shit about the sanctity of marriage or whatever this fucking bullshit is. So we know that all of these have to go. So I got to figure out a size separation thing. So now with this little bit here, if I drop this here, I got to take that. But I could also have these be 1 unit, so I don't know. Now, how about here? Let's make sure we get... Cool. These two go together. Do we have this? There is a wall there. Excellent. That means that this is the shape we have here. Great. It's just a terrible puzzle. It's just terrible, designed by people who really are up their own ass about how brilliant they are as designers. Just because it technically works doesn't make it good. And this technically works as a puzzle, but it isn't good. It might be good in another game. You know what? I'll extend the olive branch. This puzzle might be good in another game that's all about stupid bullshit like this. But everything else I've played, well, not everything else, 90 to 95% of the other puzzles I've played have not been like this. And there's a reason, because this is not fun. This is for the type of person who sees a 10,000 piece jigsaw puzzle where all the pieces are blank white, there's no edge pieces, and there are 5 extra pieces in the box, and they go, that's the challenge for me. No. Nope. That isn't good. That's just challenge for challenge sake. It's the type. If you're the type of person who's proud of solving this puzzle, you're boring. Nobody likes you. Let's move on. Have I been insulting enough to this puzzle yet? I've been insulting this puzzle for 30 minutes. I don't think I've been even a tenth of the way of insulting as I should be to this puzzle. It really is. I'm looking at it going, I hate everything about this, and I hate more so than this puzzle being in here, the fact that this game has so much bullshit no one thought to cut anything. Any competent developer would look at this game and go, it's too big, you got to start looking stuff to cut, and this would be the first place you look. This stuff. This would just be the first place you look. It's just filler. We don't need this shit. It's just more of the same, except now it's not hard. It's just guesswork. How was I supposed to arrive at this conclusion? How was I supposed to do that? Now I can also say, I don't think this is it either. Although it is. That's just what it's going to be. That means these all got to be the same. Which at least gets me somewhere, but it doesn't get me very far. I still have to make guesses. Now, instead of just making guesses and hoping I go all the way through the puzzle till I have it, just like, oh, where's the puzzle? I did it last time, I think. It was like down in here. This one pissed me the fuck off. This is the type of puzzle where I had to make a guess. I started by guessing, okay, I've got to get matches 90. Well, 3 is a match. If I did elbows, that means I have to do this. Well, I couldn't get to a break in the puzzle until I had solved 90% of the puzzle, wherein I realized that the answer was wrong, right? That is called guessing. And that's what you got to do here. You gotta start the puzzle, you gotta make a guess, get 90% of the way through the puzzle till you realize the guess doesn't fucking work, and then start all over again. That's the whole thing. If I did that, I'd still be here 4 hours later. I'm not doing that bullshit. I'm not playing bad puzzles. Actually, that didn't tell me anything whether these two are together, because it could be a separate region from this. I need to know whether these are the same. The green and purple are the same region. I know those are. So, if I were to put a wall here, I think I can do some sleuthing on my own. I would have to do this. I still wouldn't have much, because I don't know where to go from here. This, obviously, one of these two would go up here, but they couldn't both be the same region, unless it was a 7. If this was a 7, then we'd have a 6 here, and we'd break it. Yeah, so that wouldn't happen. So we could go this way, and then we'd have quite the challenge here. Because now these two would be different, right? These would be the same, and these would be the same size. And these would be the same size, and we'd have to do that if we went this way, and we'd have to block that. And if we didn't go out here, we couldn't go there because we'd be bricky. So, but I don't know which guess was wrong because I had to make 2 or 3 guesses to get there. Are you fucking kidding me with this bullshit? All right, let's just do it this way. Cool, that's it. Now it'll say I'm right. So, it still doesn't. It still does. Like, I still have to. I still got to do it. I don't give a shit. I have to give less of a shit. I keep on saying I don't give a shit, and then I keep trying to find an answer to this puzzle, and it isn't worth it. If you think it's worth it, you are delusional. I'm sorry. I have to be mean. You cannot like this and be someone I respect. You cannot. If you have even the slightest bit of intelligence, you will see that this doesn't work for this game. It doesn't work for this game. It doesn't work for the hours I've already put into this game. This is not a reward. This is a fuck you. And I'm starting to take it personally. I've been taking it personally for 20, 30, 40 hours now. These devs are delusional. I know that they're all passionate people who work hard and have lots of good ideas, but they need to stop. They need to stop. They need to sit down and reevaluate how they design shit. They need to... The only way I could ever be brought back on these devs is if, on their 3rd game, they make a 5-minute game that's got 2 puzzles. Like, I'm fucking serious. Sit down and make a small game that's well executed and show that you have some restraint and some respect for your players. Show some of that. Because for now, all you're doing is asking for my money to treat me like shit. And I'm not doing that anymore. Not happening. This is not the worst puzzle in the game. The worst puzzle in the game is back here. Here's the worst puzzle. I'll show you. I think I remember which one it is. It's this one? Nope, that one's actually good. The worst puzzle in the game. This is the worst puzzle in the game. It's not as hard as some of the other ones. It's just the worst because, like, it's just, fuck you, see the answer. You have to see 100% of the answer at once. That's the worst one in the game. But this is a close second. I can't respect this. I can't respect this. Because I'm smarter than you. I cannot respect this puzzle. Alright, so I don't know. I've been using blue and light blue for the 2 different sizes, and I don't know what sizes any of these are, so I'm just using different colors. whatever these two are, that's that. So let's just start going. Let's just start going. That is correct. That is correct. Excellent. So whatever this is, these are all different. They got to go like that. This has to go here. That's got to be there. And you know what? Let's try that. Yep, let's do it. Excellent. Now, I don't think this can happen because we're going to have a problem there. So that's got to go there. It's also got to go there. Take these. It's got to be at least that big. Great. Now I have something to work with, but of course now it probably makes the puzzle more trivial, which is not what the developers intended. But I don't give a shit what they intended because they are not good at this. So this is all correct. Great. I'm just checking to make sure I didn't fuck that up. So the only question now is what size this is. And I feel like that's something that I would have really loved to figure out, but I'm not going to now. Let's see. Do I have a dangerous brickiness somewhere? These two got to be the same size, but they can't be the same region because there's no way we'll overload. So if I were to bring this down, we'd break the puzzle because of that. See, that's called logic. That is a logical inference I could make, right? If I have this amount of puzzle, I'm working on something I'm trying to figure out. Now, what do I do next? Well, I can't do X, Y, Z because if I did this, this isn't a guess. I'm not guessing this. I'm not going, I'm going to try this and see if the puzzle is solved. It's more like, I know this doesn't work because it creates this problem. So I know the answer is a wall there, right? You see how that would be a logical move, even though it's based on all of this guesswork? But that's not what this puzzle's offering. What this puzzle's offering is figure out 20 steps in advance, and that makes me a smart puzzle designer, because, yeah, I made a hard puzzle. Yeah, fuck you. Congratulations. I would rather play an easy game that's good than a hard game that isn't. I just don't know. I mean, I'd just rather play good games, but too many people think hard is good. Way, way, way too many people. If the number is even 2 digits of people who think hard is good, that's too many. Hard is not good. Easy is not good. Good is good. So if I did this, then the purple would have to be 7. This would have to be 6. That'd be 7. That'd be 7. Doesn't tell me much. If this is the 7, then this has to be 6. This has to be 6. 6. These would be 7s as well. And I'd have to do that. So I guess this move here, if I make that guess, which is kind of a guess because I'm making this not knowing how it breaks the puzzle or anything, I'm just making this move. If I say that the yellow here is 7, this has got to be 6. And now this would be the end of that piece, so that would be a 6, which means that I have to now take all of these. That's 7. This has to go as 3. This also has to be part of the 6, which means it's got to be like that. Great. That works out really well as far as I'm concerned, which makes this a 7, and this is a 6. So we've got to have 7s there. Either one of these is going to happen, not sure which. That would have to happen, which means I've got to put these here. And then I can't do this because now... Oh, I can do that. I was going to say I could also... 6. If I did it this way, though, I'd have to do that, which would brick it up. So I would, in fact, do this. But now, there's bricky here. That's where that's bricky. So hold on a second. If I did this, can I fix this? Can I fix this? Because if I can fix this, then maybe there's a puzzle. Maybe there's a puzzle here. Maybe there's something here that isn't the worst thing I've ever fucking seen in my life. We'd have to do that. Now, either this goes down, this goes up. This goes down. This comes out, and then, yeah, I'd have to fill, and then I'd have another piece there, because that's already 7. Whereas if this goes up, I have to fill that in, and then I have to have a new piece here, because... Oh, no, hold on a second. I used the wrong color for that. That'd be purple, that'd be yellow, that'd be fine. So we'd be here, like so. That'll have to go there. It needs to go there. And then this piece can't stop here. It's got to go that way. So that's got to be done. So we have to have these and that, which means that is yellow. Means this is purple here. This, again, this is guess. It's based on a guess. This all here that I was doing was a guess, and look what it's got me. If this is wrong, this is taking too long to break the puzzle, so it's still a guess. And if it's right, I've guessed my way to the answer. It's just all around not good design. This piece has to move up, and it's got to be part of that. There's nothing we can do about it. So that means that this isn't yellow, because if it was yellow, it would be part of that. So that's got to be purple. So that is probably what we're going to do, because if we don't do that, we're going to have this issue. So then we've got 7 in here. That's perfect. So no, that's not perfect. Wait, what did I do wrong? 5, 6. Now we've got it. Like that. And then we're done. See? So even once I was like, all right, puzzle, give me somewhere to start. I would check my progress 5 or 6 times, 10, 12, 25 times until I get to a point where I feel like I have something to work on. And I still was guessing my way through the puzzle. Fuck, that is... Do I even make this a video? What if I just don't upload this fucking video? What if I just cut the puzzle out? What if I just cut the puzzle out and say, fuck you? Awful. I hate this. I keep on coming to this game thinking I'm going to have my mind changed. They're gonna give me something to make me realize that I was an asshole for hating on this game. And it never happens. It never happens. My opinion has never gone up. It has always gone down. There has never been a moment. I started this game with the highest of hopes, which obviously means there's nowhere to go but down. But, like, it never, like, went down and then came back up for a bit. It just went down and then plateaued and then went down and then plateaued and then went down and then plateaued. This is embarrassing. This is just embarrassing stuff to put in a game. Like, I don't care that this puzzle technically works. Technically, it's a puzzle. Technically, there's only one solution. But, like, is there any way to solve it that's logical, that doesn't require knowledge you took from outside the game, by the way? I want to say that as well. Good puzzle games do not require outside knowledge to solve. You can solve them with whatever is considered general knowledge, and you're taught whatever particular mechanics you need to finish the game. Right? Same with things like the pentominoes. Like, if you have to know the pentominoes coming in, that's not good. If the game wants you to know that shit, it's not general knowledge, the game needs to teach it to you, right? That's the kind of stuff. What is the principle that I would use to solve this puzzle that I have used A in a previous puzzle, or B has been taught in some way that I could look at this puzzle and know what to do? Because that's the thing you want. In the vast majority of your games, you want your players to look at something and know that they can solve it. Because if I look at this and don't think I can solve it, usually that means I have to come back to it later. But there is no later. This is literally the end game. There's no later. You want your players to look at this and think they can solve it, even if they don't know how yet. You want them to think that. And I don't think that looking at something like this, I don't think that's solvable. I look at that and think, technically, after hours and hours of sustained head trauma, I could probably get this. But I don't want to do that. I don't want to solve that. That's not solvable. Is there anything else? I feel like I've been repeating myself. Can I come up with a new insult for this type of puzzle design? I don't know if I can come up with a new one. I think I've used them all, and I've used them all too many times. You're probably tired of the insults. But I'm not. I don't think I could insult this game enough. I don't think I could do that. I have been disappointed so thoroughly by this. It's so thoroughly turned me off to these developers. If I see their names anywhere else, that's poison. I will not buy the game. Right? I don't even know if I'll go back and do Islands of Insight. I didn't finish Islands of Insight. I was just doing it because whatever, they're little puzzles to do. But I'm so thoroughly turned off by these fuck-ass developers, I don't know if I even want to go back to that game. Even though Islands of Insight did not annoy me as much as this one does, though Islands of Insight has its problems, I will tell you that. This has so thoroughly turned me off to anything these people create in perpetuity. God, I feel like an asshole saying it, but I'm willing to be the asshole because I have a feeling. I don't watch a lot of other YouTubers. I have other things I gotta do. I'm basically using all my spare time on this, and then I have to do all my work the rest of the day, so I don't get to watch everyone else play this game. I just have the feeling everyone else is glazing it, because most YouTubers who play games do that. I follow some YouTubers who I've gotten game recommendations from, and as those YouTubers get more and more popular, their channel slowly turns into an advertising channel, where they're playing games because the developer contacted them, and so it's sponsored content now, and they play, and they feel like they can only say good things about it, because obviously they're playing things for the dev's benefit. They're playing it in order to sell. And I don't know, I just hate that. I know you gotta do what you gotta do to make a living, But that's the kind of thing I see, and so I imagine most people playing this online who have any sort of following, so not me, whatever, me and my 50 subscribers, we can all go throw a party somewhere. But I imagine that most people playing this are spending their time glazing it, because otherwise they wouldn't be playing it, because they're smarter than me. They don't play games they don't like. And they feel like they've got to promote what they're playing. And I find that very disingenuous. I'm going to be so real with you. My opinion is not fake. I'm not doing it for clout. What clout could I possibly gain to have a small channel like mine and shit on an indie developer? There's no clout. I'm telling you this because it comes from my heart. Do not buy this game. Do not buy anything these developers ever make ever again until they can prove beyond any reasonable doubt that they know how to design a curated, tightly made, short experience that doesn't waste your time and insult your intelligence. If they can prove that, maybe give them a chance. But otherwise, don't buy this, don't play it, don't even watch me. You know what? Close your eyes, go back to bed, don't do anything. There. Everyone go to sleep. Whatever. Cool. Is that the good rant? Is that the good? That's not even the... I'm not even at 10% of my power. You have not seen the autistic rant yet. It's coming. There's probably a worse puzzle in here somewhere. God damn it. What am I doing with my life? I've spent over 100 hours. Over 100 hours of this. I could have learned a new hobby. I could have learned how to play the harp. I could be a bomb-ass harpist now. 100 hours. That's not enough to learn to be good at the harp. Whatever. Point is, I could be doing something more constructive with the time than playing this game. But I'm going to keep playing it because I am fucking stupid.